Understanding by the design. Authentic assessments. What's the combination between these two? Well, authentic assessments are assessments where students are engaged in work that is more real than, let's say, a test. It might be a project, but it might be something that's close to what they really do, hence the word authentic. Authentic meaning what they would do and what they care about and what's meaningful in the real life. UBD, or Understanding by Design, also known as backwards design, is a method or instructional design method to help you create those assessments that really address understanding. Why understanding? Well, it goes back to this quote that we'll look at in a little bit at the very end. So, this week is Module 6. Oops, sorry. It's my email. Module 6, Authentic Assessments. And when you look at this, we have our overview, we have some discussion, we have a link, we have another discussion, and another discussion. So there are 3 discussions. Why are there so many discussions? Well, it's because I want you to be able to see each other's work. And I think that's super important, that you can look and say, hey, what are they thinking? And later on, next week, go submit things to a Dropbox where nobody can see them except you and me. So the whole idea is you're going to be challenging and assessing your online learners this week. You want to think about that. And think of creative, collaborative, meaningful assessments or authentic assessments. For your class, you might try them out face-to-face, but in order to stimulate engaging, thought-provoking learning experience, that's what we want, these authentic assessments. So let's quickly go over the overview. And then I'm going to go over these elements in here, the discussions and things to keep in mind. And then in another video, I'm going to address the chat. I am not going to do this in the same video because it might take too much time. And if I split them up, it's a lot shorter. So, Module 6, the overview. What do you got to do? Well, first, you have some general assignments. You have to read 2 posts. Actually, it was 3 discussions. I'll put 3 discussions. Okay. Create a small 2-day unit. I guess we could call it a unit lesson plan, really. Because 2 days, I don't know if we want to call that a unit. And create a UBD lesson, and then the chart that goes with that. So here are some readings. First, in one of the books that you have, all right, in there. So this is the section, Chapter 10, Learner-Led Activities. Also, you have the Wiggins and McTighe book, and that is supplied for you. And then you have a slide share, and I'll share that with you in a little bit. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to read Chapter 10 in here. But you're also going to think about and explore a website, okay? So here, you're going to read Chapter 10, and you want to think about what is really valuable to remember. What are learner-led activities? Then we want you to go to this website where there's going to be lots of tools for you to use. Many of the tools will be excellent for learner-led activities. And then you're supposed to find another website or web-based resource that provides information that is relevant to authentic assessments. You may actually explore one of the things from here. If you're like, hey, I want to go deep into that, go ahead and explore that. But if not, you can also find another website. If you're like, yeah, nothing really floats your boat. You're going to post in the discussion forum and make sure that you write how the resource does or does not support the concepts and learner-led activities. Okay, so that, of course, is going to be your first post. Okay, it's right in here. Let's go back. Second. This is coming out. I'm going to go over here. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to learn about understanding by design. Please note, this is just reading or listening to videos. You can find more on YouTube, by the way, but there's 2 hours allotted to that. So in those 2 hours, you will be learning a lot about understanding by design, and take the time to learn it well because you're going to have to then employ it and use it. So I'm going to click to that. Now notice I'm going to click this back here. And one of the ways I can go to the next step of things is I can just click on this tab and we'll pull this out. So I'm going to pull this out a different way. I'm going to go right here because that's the understanding by design overview. And so you notice in here there's a 7-minute YouTube video. There's a slide share that I can look at. And there's a full book. There's the full book of this whole thing, and it's chapters 1 through 4. I recommend you read that or print it out and read it and underline and all that kind of good stuff. And here's some design templates for lesson plans that I think are very helpful. Down here is a little graphic to go over kind of what you're going to do. So this is important. And this is important for your planning for your chat. You're going to plan to have a chat. And your group chat is going to take place either next weekend, if nobody, if everyone's available, they may or may not be, or sometime early next week. I don't want you to wait till the end of next week because you need to have time to revise. But you're going to chat about your understanding by design lesson. It's a 2-day lesson plan. But first you want to plan out when you can all chat, okay? Then you're going to create your lesson plan. Then you're going to post your UBD lesson plan to the discussion board, and then you're going to group chat about it, that I'm going to put in another video, and then you're going to revise it, probably. So I want you to have time for that. So this is why it's so important that you understand the understanding by design process, so you can then create your lesson plan that adheres to that. I'm going to go back up to Module 6 and read the general instructions, because I like to navigate this way. So here we go. Let's scroll down. The next thing, now that you've understood understanding by design, I want you to talk about it. So you're going to go to the chat, understanding by design, why, what are the benefits of backward design and planning a unit for your cyber students? How can it help you with learner-led activities? So you can think about that and post to the discussion. Please make sure it's very, very clear why you posted what you did, all right? Because you might want to cite it, explain why it is what it is, okay? Don't just say, I like it. Give it some rationale based on supportive literature or your experience. Next, a discussion board. And this, you're going to post 2 things, your lesson plan, but also a chart. Okay, and here are the different elements of the lesson plan that are needed. If you go in here, you're going to go to, we're going to scroll down. Here it is, discussion. So here is the same information, but also in here you're going to find 2 examples. All right, so you can see how somebody designed the chart. You won't see somebody's lessons, but you're going to see the chart. Let's go back. And that means after that point, you've really basically done what you need to do for Module 6, except plan your chat. So make sure that you plan that together. Here's your team chat. You want to, I didn't have that click. Let me go there. You want to go to this chart. You want to contact your people, email it all. For some reason, if you want a different email address used so people can contact you, please create the new email address. If you want to put in different information about yourself, make sure you do that. And that way you'll be all set for your chat. But create that date for yourself. And like I said in the next little video in the chat section, I will talk about the chat. So you want to submit everything to the Dropbox after you revise it, but that you'll wind up doing more in the next module too. I have it here, okay, but that's really another thing you'll be doing in the next module. So let's think about this. Why do we do all this? Well, there's a quote by Benjamin Franklin, one of my heroes. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So today or this week, we want you to create lessons where you actually involve your students, even if they're online.